Hello, this is Michael Jillian, and here I have the Brinyte E18 theme. Brinyte has been around a while, and they've been making hunting and tactical lights, but now they've stepped into the EDC world, and here I have a few of their products, like the E18 multi-functional flashlight, but we're going to focus on the E18 theme today, and I'm going to do a review on that one at a different time. Now I have to say, the box is quite nice. It does give you an impression of a high quality product in here. It did cost $60 on Amazon, and we're going to do a quick unboxing. And as you can see, they did a great job on the presentation. This is a nice mold, and the light itself looks really nice. We're going to get to that in just a moment. First, let's take a look at what else you get in the box. So we're going to open this up. Everything is packaged nicely under this mold. Here you have the user manual. Over here you have information about Brinyte, value added card. Over here you have 2 O-rings, and this is great in case your O-rings get messed up after time. Eventually they will start to deteriorate, so this is nice that they included it, and this will extend the life of the flashlight itself. Over here you have a type C to type A cable. This looks like it's about 1 to 2 meters. And I like the fact that they are using type C. As you can see, this is type C. I like the fact that they're using type C. We're definitely in a modern era of type C. Here you have a actually pretty nice lanyard. Usually I don't put lanyards on my flashlights, but in this case I might make an exception because this lanyard is pretty nice. It has a very different look to it than a lot of the other lanyards that I've seen, but for now we're just going to keep it off just for the sake of the review. And over here is the battery. Usually I see the battery packed already inside the flashlight, but it's nice that they included it separate so that way you can have more information about what's actually in the battery. This is a high drain rechargeable lithium-ion battery, 18650. It's very common for these flashlights. In fact, my Workhorse flashlight also uses an 18650, and therefore it's good to have wide compatibility in case you want to just bring a few batteries with you. The high drain shows that, or proves that it will be able to create a lot more lumens and not shut down, which is nice. Let's take a look at the battery. And this is a standard 18650 battery. Over here, as you can see, it's 3000 milliamp hours, which is very nice. 3.7 volts, 11.1 watt hours. It is a button battery, so keep that in mind. I'm going to put this right into the flashlight. But first, let's take a look at the flashlight. Over here, as you can see, it's a very nice reversible clip. This means you can put it either way into your belt. Now, another thing about its reversibility is that not only can it go on this side, but I'm going to attempt to take this off and put this on the other side. And now you have a really versatile clip. And that's really nice because there are some people that like to specifically put the flashlight in their pockets in this way, and they like it to go this deep. Whereas other people will like it the other way, and it also does have a reversible clip, so that way you can put it on either way, depending on if you're, for example, using a cap or something, and you want to, for some reason, put this on your cap, or put it somewhere else where you'll be able to just kind of mount it. That's a really nice feature that it has. That's the first thing I noticed, and it goes both here, and of course it can be turned. Let's take it off for now, so that way it clips on nice and strong, so that way you can make sure it stays there. Now, if you'll notice, there's a spot for the lanyard right here, but if you look closely, there's also a spot for the lanyard right here, which is a really nice feature. This way you can have the lanyard in 2 different places. One thing I always like to see is a magnet over here, and it didn't look like there was a magnet here at the beginning, but then I did look into it, and there in fact is a magnet, and it is pretty strong. Now take a look. This is a very strong magnet. It'll be able to hold this light no problem. I actually couldn't believe how strong the magnet was because it was a lot thinner than the other ones I've seen. So that's very impressive. Talking about the body of the flashlight, as you can see already, it is a really nice texture. I've never seen something like this where it just looks really nice, very elegant, and in a way futuristic, modern. So that's pretty cool. I like to see that, just the way that these little mounts come up for the button, and the button is protruding a little bit, which is a good thing and a bad thing. The reason why it's a good thing is because it's easier to find. You can find it much easier. However, it's a bad thing because it could get by mistake pressed. Now, the good thing about that is that it's not going to have that problem because this button is actually not such an easy button to press. I don't think it'll get mistakenly pressed in your backpack. However, to prevent automatic or turning it on by mistake, you can do a mechanical lockout, which is twisting it like this, and that will prevent the flashlight from turning on. So let's pop the battery in. And as you can see right here, like I said, the magnet looks very thin, but is definitely powerful. Make sure you put it in the right way, although this has reverse polarity protection. and it was nicely greased when I got it, but you can always re-grease the threads if you feel necessary. Now, like we saw, the battery is an unprotected cell, which is what all the flashlights are using, because if it's protected, it probably will not let you use it at the highest lumens. Let's take a look at the battery compartment, and since it is waterproof, you could hear that little noise that it made when it actually came out, which was the seal. And this charger is actually faced this way, which is an interesting choice. I haven't seen it like this before. When you plug it into charge, it's very nice that it has a nice area to charge with. A lot of the other flashlights that I've noticed have a very small charging port and will not allow you. For example, the FC13 has a very small charging port, and in fact my Anchor charger will not fit inside. However, this flashlight definitely allows for all variations of charging. When it's plugged in, it will be red to let you know that it is charging. We can take this out. Now, this does not have the ability to charge up another phone, but that would have been a nice ability to be able to put in. Over here we have the information, or I guess on the logo of Brinyte E18 FEMA, as you can see. So that's very nice to see. It actually looks quite nice. The logo is aesthetically pleasing. Another nice thing is there is access to the emitter. If you want to replace it with a different emitter or do any other modifications, you can twist this off. However, this is very tight and therefore it will not come off, so I can't demonstrate that right now. But I've seen in the instructions where it says you should be able to remove the top cap. Let's talk about specifications. The LED is a luminous SST40, very reputable LED. The maximum lumens is 1,200 lumens. The maximum beam intensity is 12,500 CD. Maximum throw is 220 meters. The battery uses one 18650, which is 3,000 amps. The onboard charging is USB-A to USB-C. The material is made out of aluminum. It has 5 different modes: strobe, SOS, and it has a TIR optic for its reflector. It's IP68 waterproof rated. When the light is on, the green light will be lit all the time. If you want to do a lockout, you can always twist this, and that's going to be a lockout where basically it will not turn on, which is very nice that they provided that type of mechanical lockout. Now, if you look on top, we already spoke about the reflector. This is an SST40. That's a nice reflector, a nice emitter, and the reflector, being the TIR optic, is actually a very nice reflector. The blue bezel around here, over here, is actually quite a nice bezel, and that gives it really a good look. First of all, just aesthetically, and also provides a little bit more of a, I guess, definitely a nice look as a Brinyte flashlight, as the color blue is definitely involved here. At the end of this video, I'm going to do an outdoor night test where I'll showcase the throw that this E18 can actually do, which is pretty impressive, honestly. So the user interface is pretty simple, which is something I like, because most people can just pull it out of the box and use it right away. When you click it once, it turns on. Click it again, turns off. That's pretty simple. When you press it once, it actually is saved in memory mode, the last mode that you were in. Right now it's on the highest mode. If you hold down, it'll go between the different modes. So this is called moon mode, and moon mode is actually 8 lumens or 5 lumens, 5 to 8 lumens, and then you hold it down, you go to the low mode, and this is 35 to 50. Press it again, it goes from 115 to 143. You press it again, and this is the highest, and I believe this is 1,200 lumens. So this is the highest at 1,200, and 1,200 is the max. If you press it again, it'll turn off. Now, from off, if you hold it down, you'll get into moon mode, which is nice, because if you just want some easy way to get into moon mode, you can do that, and you press it again, it turns off. From off again, if you double click, it'll go into turbo, so that's pretty cool. It'll go into 1,200 lumens, which is the highest mode. Now, if you triple click from off, 1, 2, 3, it'll go into strobe mode. Strobe mode basically, prevents attackers or whatever it is that you're using it for, it will do it. Now, from off, to engage lockout mode, you'll click 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It'll blink just like that, letting you know that lockout mode is enabled. And now when you try to turn it on, nothing will happen. If you want to turn off lockout mode, you'll click 5 times again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And lockout mode is disabled. And now the flashlight will work as it should. If you want to turn it off a different way, you can turn it on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now lockout mode is back on. And in order to just reset the entire light, you'll just go like this and then tighten it again, and that basically resets it, and now the flashlight should work as normal. So that's two different ways to disable it. That's basically it. When it's on and you double click, it'll also go into turbo. And if you triple click 1, 2, 3, it'll also go into strobe mode. But from off is what most people will end up using it as. If you're also looking for a lantern or a lamp style, you can easily buy a diffuser like this and just put it on top, and it turns into a lantern that can light up the entire room, which is really nice in case of a power outage, or if you're camping and just want an area lit up rather than a focused beam. Since the E18 actually does use an 18650 battery, we're able to use any other 18650 battery that are very popular among these flashlights, and therefore it is easily swappable. As you can see, we have an 18650 from Workhorse. We're going to just close it up, and as you can see, fits right in perfectly and turns on. Okay guys, here we are with the outside night test with the Brinyte E18 theme, and we're going to test this out and see how it does. So first we're going to test out the turbo, and as you can see, it has a really nice throw. You're able to see all the way down there, and that's pretty cool. You don't see that in a lot of 18650s with a throw that goes that far, so that's pretty nice. If you step it down a little bit, you'll see it has the moonlight, and even on the lowest mode it does get a nice amount of throw, more than some of the other lights. We're going to test out strobe over here, so 1, 2, 3, and that's strobe, and then we're going to stop strobe, back to turbo, and this is really nice. It does have a very nice throw. So let's compare it to the FC13. So here is the FC13 that I've been comparing it to a lot, and the reason why I compared to this is because it actually is a very similar light in specs. It also has 1200 lumens, but this one is a much floodier and does not have as much of a throw as the Brinyte. As you can see, it does an excellent job as well, but the Brinyte definitely has a better, a tighter beam, and I would definitely recommend that if you're looking for a tighter throw. And as you can see, both of them do perform very well. They're very similar in features, but just wanted to show you a comparison. And obviously this is a test with both of them on turbo. I want to compare it with one more light, and this is the FC11 right here. So let's test it out, and the FC11 is using an 18350 in this case. So I'm going to show you that real quick because you might not be able to see. This is the 18350 that's in this flashlight of the FC11, and as you can see, it does not have nearly as good throw as the other two, but it's still very good, and that's on turbo, and that's because it's using 18350, so it definitely has less power. I would say the Brinyte definitely held its own in this test. So in conclusion, the Brinyte E18 theme is a very nice looking light. From the texture over here, the stylish way it was designed, it's got the blue bezel over here, plus the blue bezel on the switch. Just make it look really nice, make it really match. I would definitely put this on my desk, and because it's on my desk, I'll probably end up using it more. The fact that you could switch it from side to side is very nice as well. Great design. I love that it has a magnetic tail cap, even though it doesn't look like it. There are 2 spots to put your lanyard, which to some people could be very desirable. I like the way that this is raised, the switch is raised. This way I could find the switch easily. It does not get pressed easily. It has a mechanical lockout, which is nice. It has a reversible clip, which is nice. The emitter, which is the SST40, is a good emitter and definitely provides enough light. The UI is very simple and definitely a good thing to be able to gift to most people, or just to buy for someone who is looking for a simple UI. It has low, medium, bright. It has moonlight. The moonlight's very nice and 5 lumens. And the turbo is very strong at 1200 lumens, so definitely hits all the boxes. It does get a little bit hot if you're on the highest mode, which is very standard, so I definitely wouldn't fall to the light for that. I think everything that I spoke about I like so far, and let's talk about some of the disadvantages this light has. Now, this will be also in the advantages category, but it's simple. Some people are looking for something that's a little more Android 2. Now this has so many different functions, but also is just much more complicated for a simple user that would get just lost in the settings, and therefore that could be a good thing or a bad thing. Another disadvantage is that the price is a little bit higher than some of the other lights you can get, but definitely looks nicer than a lot of those other lights. Some people like the switch, probably. I am a fan of a little bit softer switch, but I guess it's a good thing if it's in your pocket and it doesn't turn on because of that, so that could be an advantage as well. As far as everything else, there's nothing really bad I could say about this light. It's just in general a very all-around good light. Definitely a good EDC light for most people. It's nice and thin, very thin. If you compare it to a lot of the other lights that are 18650s, for example, the FC13, you'll see it's much thinner, and therefore can fit in your pocket a lot easier. If you actually take off the clip over here, it'll actually definitely be a lot thinner, could fit just about anywhere. I like the fact that it is Type-C, that's very nice, and I also do like the fact that it's waterproof. IP68 rating is definitely a advantage to have on a flashlight. That means you can use it in the rain, and I have, and I haven't had any issues.